So over the weekend, we here at Me Make Monster had a knock on our door. We had a young man, his name is Jimmy Schnellikens. He actually navigated through the haunted forest and made his way to our castle headquarters. He went through the moat, went over the bridge, and knocked on the big stone door. And the reason he came was because he wanted to ask us how he could make a werewolf with Me Make Monster. So we're going to show you today. This one's for you, Jimmy. You don't have to come in person anymore. You can always send an email to info@memakemonster.com. But right now, every time you start Me Make Monster, you have a random monster. Right here, we have something that clearly is nothing at all like a werewolf. So where are we going to start? Well, one place to start is with the color. And I'm going to tell you that most werewolves are brownish. So we're going to start right there. It's kind of a creamy brown, kind of a reddish brown, and it works really well for your werewolf. We can start next with the head, and don't forget you can do anything you want in MeMakeMonster.com in any order. But we're going to hit this little next button, and then we're going to go take a look through the heads. Now there's a few heads you might want to use for the werewolf. That one is more of an apey wolf, but this is the one we tend to use here, and that's the kind of like two curved upside down triangle kind of head. And next we're going to grab some eyes. Now you could have some bulbous eyes, the cyclops eyes, the closed eyes if your werewolf is like deep in thought or something like that. But these are the spooky eyes, you know, they're kind of like glowing, and they're open a lot at the top. So we're going to do that, and we're going to grab some eyebrows that go with them. Those are kind of thick ones, and there's like more creature eyes, and that's like the angry eyes. But and that's like it could be good for mummies or sea monsters. But right here we have these kind of like, they look like a lightning bolt, you know, don't they? But we're going to move them on up, and we already got what starts to look like a pretty cool werewolf. Next, for your lycanthrope, that's a synonym for werewolf, we're going to go for the nose. Now there's a couple noses you can use, just like the head. You can grab that one, which is kind of a more of like a wolf nose, like less man, more wolf. But if you want to like hit up a Lon Chaney Jr., look him up, kids. He's a legend. You go for this snouty nose, and we're going to make it a little bit bigger. And then we're going to pick the correct mouth. Not that there's a correct one, because there's no right or wrong monster here at Me Make Monster. We're going to grab that mouth right there, shrink it on down, and move it on up. So it's a little too close for my comfort, and we're going to move it right there. And now we have a pretty reasonable head, except for those horns. You see the horns, everybody? And the horns count as ears. So we're going to scroll through, not the bolts, not the gills, not the antennae, but yes, the wolf ears. I'm going to shrink them down a little with the minus key, move up, and there we go. We've got a really nice looking werewolf head. What else should we change? Well, if you look, there's scales here, and that's great for any amphibians, reptiles, or those kind of snaky creatures. But we're going to go through, and we're going to find something. Yep, I think I like that one. There's a couple that look like fur, and I think I like that first one that looks like kind of upside down V's. And there we go, we have that. Now we're going to go through the arms, body, and the legs next. You know what, I'm going to turn off these wings. They're the extra. And there we go, they're off. For the arms, we're going to grab... Oh, look at that. Look how strong he looks with the ripped sleeves right there. That's awesome. So I'm going to keep them right there. They're a little humongous. I'm going to shrink on down and move them up. And then we're going to grab the body. And the body we like, oh yeah, sweet stuff right there. That body is pretty nice. It's like a ripped shirt. There's a couple rips in here. It's pretty cool. And I'm going to move the head on up just like that. And now we're going to go for some legs. And the legs, no, not the alien legs with the alien kind of covering on them, and not the creature legs with the strange bands there. We don't even know where that's from, but how about those legs, man? They are very wolf-like, very lupine, if you will. And we're just going to move them down, resize them a little. And we have a pretty nice looking werewolf, I think. And you know what? I might make the head a little bigger, because this guy I want to be a little more cartoony. So he's going to be like, you know, just like almost maybe like a baby werewolf. Now, there's one thing you could do. Well, you could turn the clothes off if you want it to be like he just ripped out of his clothes or something. And that's pretty cool. But I think I want my guy with the clothes back on. We're going to experiment. Well, we could play with the color, but I don't know about that. Maybe that. If you want a red werewolf, there's nothing wrong with that. We're going to go back to brown here, and of course we need to give him a monster name. How about we go with Louis the Dude, pretty neat, huh? And I think we're done. Anything else we could change? Nah, I think I'm pretty happy with that werewolf. So Louis the Dude, the werewolf, we're gonna hit save monster, and as soon as you save it, then you wait over here, and you have a little curve. What depending on what you're using, you got that little spinning wheel, and then you have to watch this happen here, and you wait, and you start to look at Louis, and you're like, man, I am loving that guy. And as soon as this bar clears over here, we're going to have a selection to make, and this time I think I'm going to see what Louis might look like on a mouse pad because my mouse is a little empty these days. So here comes Zazzle, and it says adding your monster, so you just wait until that bar clears, which it is clear now, and once it's in there, chances are it's going to, ooh, we've had to move again. Look at that, that's wild. I'm going to shrink it on up because sometimes it comes in a little bit big, right? That is not what we want, a mouse pad with 3/4 of a monster. No, we're going to shrink them down with a little magnifying glass with the minus in there. And just keep shrinking. You got to give it a second sometimes. And you want to maybe make it a little larger. Maybe move them down a little bit. And we got the Louis the Dude Werewolf mouse pad that we could, I'm just going to tweak them a little bit. And there we go. And then you could just add it to your cart and make a purchase, and you're cool. So there you go, Jimmy Schnellikens. That one's for you, Werewolf.